The inspirational reading for today. It is from The Dawning of the Age of Light. It's from our Pink Books, a series of books channeled by the present day Jesus. And I read from page 7, the words of Jesus. I am with you. Open yourself and allow yourself to receive my love. Open fully and freely, that you may receive fully and freely, for my love can fill you to overflowing. Expand your capacity to receive more love, for I have this love to give to you. The warmth that you feel is the warmth of my love enveloping you. This feeling produces such a glow that to others you shine beautifully. Wherever you are, I am there also. Wherever you are, there are two of us, you and I. Be aware of my presence. Be aware of my love. Wait for me. Do not go without me. Thank you. All right. The title of today's is A New Dawning. A new dawning. Think about that. It is given to us by a minister who has been with TIC for quite a while, leading, teaching, speaking, praying, meditating, doing all the wonderful TIC things. So let's welcome her. Let's welcome Reverend Marianne Kelley.
Good morning. Ooh. How is everyone this morning?
Good.
It's a new day dawning, you know. Love that song. So, as we begin the new year, let's begin with a goal in mind. To allow our spiritual love, spiritual love light to shine in all directions. And know that that's who we are. Let's let this healing light of truth shine into every seeming shadow thought of physical, emotional, karmic, psychic, social, sexual, financial, or spiritual abuse throughout the world. We know that this is not the truth. These are only thoughts that bind us to our relationships, to the past. And this healing light of truth now dissolves all mental causes, and they are gone. So let us begin anew in this time of new dawnings. So we have, there was a Facebook post by one of my brothers, Jack, and I'd like to share this with you because it really is relevant to the thoughts of a new day dawning. And it goes like this. I asked a friend who has crossed 70 years of age and is heading towards 80, what sort of changes he is feeling in himself. And he sent me the following message. Number 1, after loving my parents, my siblings, my spouse, my children, and my friends, I have now started loving myself. Think about that. And number 2, I realize that I'm not Atlas. The world doesn't rest on my shoulders. It does not rest on my shoulders. And number 3, I have stopped bargaining with the vegetable and fruit vendors. A few pennies is not going to break me, but it might help that poor fellow to save for his daughter's school fees. So, think about that. I leave my waitress a big tip. The extra money might bring a smile to her face. She is toiling much harder than I am these days. Number 5, stop telling the elderly that they've already told that story many times. Their story makes them walk down memory lane and relive their pasts. Yeah, so why not? Listen to it again. And you never know, you might hear it freshly. And a new insight might come. I have learned not to correct people even when I know they're wrong. The onus of making everyone perfect is not on me. It's not my job to make everybody perfect. Peace is more precious than perfection. True. Yeah. Number 7, I give compliments freely and generously. Compliments are a mood enhancer, not only for the recipient, but also for me. And a small tip for the recipient of a compliment: never, never, never turn it down. Just say, thank you. So when someone gives us a compliment, thank you. You never say, oh, this old thing, when they say something nice about you. Or, anything like that. Say thank you. The response is thank you. Yes, yes. So, number 9, I walk away from people who don't value me. They might not know my worth, but I do. And number 10, I remain cool when someone plays dirty or to outrun me in a rat race. I am neither a rat and nor am I in a race. So there you are. Number 11, I'm learning not to be embarrassed by my emotions. That's a good one. My emotions make me human. And number 12, I have learned that it's better to drop the ego than to break up a relationship. That makes sense. My ego will keep me aloof. Whereas with relationships, I will never be alone. Yeah. And number 13, I have learned to live each day as if it's the last. After all, it might well be the last. And number 14, I am doing what makes me happy. I am responsible for my happiness, and I owe it to myself. I owe it to myself to be happy. Happiness is a choice, and you can be happy at any time. Just choose to be. True? Mm-hmm. So, I decided to share this with my friends in person, because I thought it all makes sense. And because of that, I do a thing on New Year's Eve here at the Teaching of the Antichrist. And I decided today I would like to share it with a larger group. And I call it a releasing service. And if you would like to pass out those sheets. So we're going to do a little exercise now. And for those of you who are online or watching this later, I'll read it to you, and you can take the time, write down the question, or write down the thing that I give you, and you can answer that in a way that is right for you. So, what am I releasing? What is it that I can release? So, I am going to, number 1, release the following persons, I'm going to forgive the following persons. For what now? So we're going to write down the person that we think that we might want to forgive. And then write down, what are we forgiving them for? For what are we forgiving? So we'll take just a moment to do that. And there might be more than one person. But you can concentrate on just one right now. Concentrate on just one right now. And write that down, and the reason you think that you need to forgive them. we take the time, we may find other persons we feel maybe have hurt our feelings, or said something that, or did something, or maybe didn't do something that they said they would do. So, in the second one, I release the following experiences. If there's something from this past year that you just want to let go, take a moment, think about that, write it down. Okay. Number 3, I release all judgment about another person, and more specifically, I release all judgment about myself, about a certain thing. Where have I been judging another, or where have I been judging myself? Now, when I'm finished with all of this, what I can do is, if I have a shredder at home, or if I have there's a shredder here for anybody who wants to do that. After we're done here, we can shred that, release it, and let it go. So I place it in the shredder, I place it in the fireplace, I rip it up, flush it in the toilet, whatever I want to do with it. I don't think I'd want to flush it in the toilet. You never know what might happen. It might come back. It might get So, all right. So now, take the second page, second part of this. I see in my mind's eye the following events, persons, health, wealth, love, or whatever else coming into my life in 2022. We do goals, not resolutions. We do goals because goals are easier to attain than sometimes resolutions. So, what is it I want to bring into my life in the new year? In the field of events, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Or persons? Someone to advise me? Someone to guide me in a project? We can't say the specific person, but we can say the right person is coming. Health. We know that we are healthy, that we are filled with the health of the living God. And wealth, we always have enough and to spare, and to share, and to save, enough to do everything we want to do. And love. We begin by loving ourselves first, and understanding that we are lovable. Yes, we are. And we are loving, and we are beloved. We know that all of this can be ours. Knowing that this is true, the next lines. I am willing to change the following about myself in order for it to occur in 2022. So if we don't already have all of these things, there may be something about ourselves that's keeping it at bay, you know? Have you ever sometimes felt like, wow, if I could only change this about myself? How about loving ourselves right where we are? And in a minute, we'll figure out what else we can do with that. One of the questions we need to ask ourselves is am I willing to accept my good occurring? I've heard it said in psych classes that I took that a lot of people are afraid of failure, not because they're afraid to fail, but they're afraid they might succeed. And do they want the responsibility for the success? Do they want the response? Am I willing to accept the responsibility for my success in these fields? In the field of health, for instance, I know in a lot of families, and occasionally in mine even, we get together and we compare notes about health. And it seems as though it becomes a one-upmanship on who's got the worst health. And yeah, so I have taken myself away from that particular one. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to brag that I have to see the doctor. No. And it's always remember, when we set our goals, we want to bring ourselves into congruency, into agreement by what we say, what we think, and what we do. What we say, what we think, and what we do. They have to all agree with the goals that we're setting. If they don't agree, we negate it. We don't want to do that. So I am willing to accept my good. I am willing to make the changes in my life necessary for this to occur. To attract the people if I need people. To attract the money if I need money. To attract the health. To attract the love. Of course, becoming that first. Becoming all of those things first. And what it is I want to give, or what it is I want to receive, is the very thing that I need to give. So I need to share of my time, my talent, and yes, my finances. If I need more finances. My time, my talent, my love. And do those things that I know help my health, in my diet, in my exercise, and whatever else I'm led to do. So I am willing to do my part in accepting the wonderful changes that I want to make in my life. This sheet we want to keep. And we want to add to it as we go through the years. We might set a goal for just a month, or even just a week. And weekly, we can attain that goal. And then at the end of the month, my goodness, look at all the good. If we do what we call Swiss cheesing it, we do a little nibble here, and a little nibble there, and a little nibble there, and pretty soon we've got the whole block of cheese eaten. There you go. Okay. That's how that works. So, we can say to ourselves, as Louise Hay does, as the year comes to a close, I am filled with gratitude. Yes, let this be another year of gratitude. I am filled with gratitude. The universe has sent me the perfect people for the perfect lessons. All of those individuals and situations have ushered me toward my higher good. I now know in my bones that happiness is my destiny. It is the truth about our being. So, when you think about it, we are most able to program ourselves, if you will, right as we're waking up in the morning. So within the first 30 minutes of the day, let's take a time to meditate. Even if it's only 5 minutes, take time to greet the divine within us. Visualize our goals. Visualize them as being fulfilled. Use all of our senses, 5 senses, and more. Practice that gratitude. Read an affirmation or say your favorite affirmation. Ask ourselves empowering questions and listen for the answer. And if you journal, write it all down. You might have a book in the process. You never know. So for the year creating the new, so for 2022 is the year for creating my newness by going within each day to receive from my higher self, my inner Christ, what is right and good for me to do in this day. Again, Swiss cheesy. And so I invite you to join me in getting that mason jar or the ball jar. And once a week, I started trying to do this every day. And every day just didn't work for me, but once a week I could do it. Made it a habit. So once a week, I write down on a piece of paper a good thing that happened this week. Maybe just one. Think of more, you can write more. But each week is going to be a little bit different from the past week. What great and good thing happened this week? And I get all of these colored papers, and I write a different color each week. You know, maybe get green and pink and yellow and blue. And then when I get through those, then I'll start again, pink and green and yellow and blue. Mm-hmm. So. So, I'd like to, as you all know, this week, I always get his name wrong. Thich Nhat Hanh passed away. You remember? And he wrote something. It's called No Death, No Fear. And I'd like to read it to you today and close off with this. I am not limited by this body. I am life without boundaries. I have never been born. I have never died. Look at the infinite oceans and skies filled with stars. Manifestations from the basis of consciousness. Since beginningless time, I have been free. Birth and death are only doors through which we pass, sacred thresholds of our journey. Birth and death are games of hide and seek. So laugh with me, hold my hand. Let us say goodbye. Say goodbye to meet again soon. We meet today. We will meet again tomorrow. We will meet at the source of every moment. We meet each other in all forms, on a myriad of paths of life. There is no death. Thank you. Thich Nhat Hanh. Beautiful man, beautiful man. And so, I say to you, let's go out and enjoy this wonderful new year. I mean, it's just begun. We might as well program it the way we want it. So we say, thank you, wonderful God, in all of us. And so it is. So we let it be, and let the people say, Amen.